Hello out there! This is Wakeangel2K1 coming at you with another Sonic-related toy review. This is Jakks Pacific's Dr. Eggman Bendy. Yes, that's right. I caved in and bought another one of the bendys. This is from Wave 2. So the packaging is identical to the first one, showcasing Sonic the Hedgehog on top. And you get a nice window showing the character within and his disc figure. And the back of the packaging shows the figure posed, along with what you're supposed to do with the disc figure. Spoilers, you roll it. And a preview of the other figures from the wave. So Sonic is in this wave again, for anyone who missed Wave 1. And they are introducing Super Sonic, with what looks like a running version of the Sonic disc figure, and Metal Sonic with Shadow. Now, I didn't get the Metal Sonic figure, but I did get a good look on it in the shelf, and it's a pretty well-made figure. It's immaculately well painted. If you look here, you see how the spaces in between his knuckles are painted with a darker color to be like the joints. Well, I can tell you that it really was that well painted in the store. I am absolutely shocked that they went to the effort to paint that small a detail on a bendy. So, you know, never let it be said that Jakks Pacific doesn't care about their licenses, because they do put the effort in. Before I talk about Eggman, I wanted to actually bring up the reason why I bought this set. It is the E102 Gamma disc figure. I am absolutely shocked and amazed that Jakks Pacific chose to make any kind of acknowledgement to E102 Gamma, a character who was in literally one game. Maybe you can count Sonic Battle for having characters based off of his model, but still, Gamma himself was only in one game, so for them to acknowledge E102 Gamma after all this time is actually amazing. And of course, now that I'm on camera, there we go. You can bring out his little hoverboard, his little hover jetpack thing, and his legs, and you got yourself a little chibi Gamma. Of course, he is provided with a stand that you can clip on, and yeah, I love that pseudo 16-bit sprite of E102 Gamma. Like, it came straight out of one of the Gamma fighters from Sonic Battle. You know, the Game Boy Advance game. So, yeah, awesome. I never thought that I would see another toy referencing E102 Gamma, but here he is. So, yay. Now, let's see if Jakks will make an actual Gamma figure, or maybe an Omega figure. Both. I want both. Give me both. Alright, so here is Dr. Eggman taken out of the packaging. And that is certainly a Dr. Eggman, alright. He looks pretty darn good. Like, this is probably one of the best Eggman sculpts I've ever seen. He has a actual jointed head, so he can turn around. As you can see, it comes off. See? Simple peg, but it works. He doesn't have a mouth sculpted in, but his mustache is so huge and bushy it covers it anyway, so this is actually very reminiscent of his appearance in Sonic Adventure, where he didn't really have a visible mouth most of the time he was talking, only when he went, "Whoa!" You know? Now, aside from the immaculately beautiful sculpt of Jakks Pacific, this figure can't really do anything. I mean, yeah, he's a bendy. So he has the limitation that all bendys have, and that's, like, nothing looks right. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I'm sorry, but I got him because he looks so good, but this is basically just a little rubber statue. It's not, like, and the sleeves on his arms are so thick, you can't even really get a convincing elbow bend out of them. The physical resistance of the rubber to bend and want to go back to its original shape actually overrides the wire inside. So he's not even all that bendable. I mean, I guess I can still get a decent pointing gesture out of him, but that's about it. So, scale-wise, here is the Sonic Bendy for height comparison. And this is kind of going on my original Sonic is actually almost 5 feet tall scaling back from my Crazy and Obsessed video. It seems that somebody at Jakks Pacific agrees with me that if classic Sonic is 3.5 feet tall and you went by how they scaled next to each other in Sonic Generations, Sonic would be he would be 4'10". That is how much I measured him as when I did the math back then. And assuming that Dr. Eggman is a 6 foot tall man, then yeah, this looks about right. I mean, it's not like Sonic is super tall. You gotta remember, a lot of his height is forehead. It's like his eye line is actually in Robotnik's belly button. So it's not like Sonic is super tall, it's just that he has different proportions. But yeah, I mean, if you want to go by pre-retcon Sonic height, then this actually works. And you know what? I kind of like the pre-retcon Sonic height, so that's another thing that Jakks Pacific has going for it. Eat it, people who want to say that Sonic is only 3.5 feet tall. So here's a comparison with my other Dr. Eggman figures. The Jazzwares Eggman and the Toy Island Dr. Robotnik. Because remember, this was made for Sonic Adventure, meaning that he was still called Robotnik back then. And I expected this to be a little bit taller, because like he is almost the same height. He's barely taller than Jazzwares' Eggman, despite the fact that, you know, Jazzwares' Sonic was a whole inch shorter. So you think that he'd be an inch taller to match. But oh well. Like I said, it all depends on whether you want to scale, because I remember, like, Eggman would be almost 7 feet tall if Sonic was to be 4'10". He'd be almost as tall as Shaquille O'Neal. Like, you know, he's a big man. So apparently they want to go by Dr. Eggman is only a slightly above average heighted man, so he's you know, significantly shorter in scale here. But yeah, I gotta say, like, between the way the mustache is done, like, okay, this figure is really old, so we're just gonna write off its basic nature and that kind of scary wrinkle that he has going on as like a sign of the times. Although he did have a big mouth, like that big grin, so he looks like his own logo. I'll give him that. But if we take a much closer look at the comparison of these guys' faces, there's a lot more sculpted detailing in that mustache. Like, you can see the strands more, where here everything just kind of becomes a mushy blend. And there's even shine lines painted into his shades, whereas it's just solid blue on the Jazzwares figure. They even picked out the lenses on his goggles with a nice green paint. I guess when you're not really, when you really only have 2 parts to your figure, you can really afford to go all in on the paint. Apologies for the jump cut. I had to fix the focus and address a phone call. But yes, like I was saying, although because he's a bendy, his articulation, his posability, I should say, is virtually nil. He is a solid stander thanks to his big feet, so he can at least stand. And the paintwork is amazing. This is a very well done figure. Like, if Jakks Pacific had just made an Eggman statue like this, it would probably be one of the better looking Eggman statues out there. And like, I like how it's like the Jazzwares figure uses more dull oranges and browns, while this one is really vibrant with the orange for the mustache and the really bright canary yellow used for the buttons and wrist cuffs. So, you know, like, he has his strengths. The only flaw of the figure is, unfortunately, that it's a bendy. However, it would appear that Jakks Pacific has heard our complaints, and they will be addressing that. Yes, this was pointed out to me. It's a preview of the figures that's going to be appearing in stores soon. In the upper left corner, you see the bendys like we'd always seen before, but they also have proper articulated figures. And yes, playsets for them. We have a 2-inch line, 2.5-inch according to what the text said, which isn't really all that special if you ask me. They look very much like the figures that Tomy put out. There's nothing inherently different about them at all. And I don't know, Knuckles is missing some paint details, but the Metal Sonic figure has all the amazing paint details that his 4-inch figure has, so I don't know what's up with that. But the real story are these 4-inch figures. They are actually making 4-inch scale Sonic the Hedgehog figures. These could probably stand right next to the World of Nintendo line. I mean, of course, the display has definitely seen better days with that horribly disarticulated knee, and it doesn't look like he has elbows at all. But still, this is a properly articulated action figure of Sonic that's 4 inches tall. Yes! When can I get this? Hopefully, this wave will be financially successful for Jakks Pacific, and that I'll be able to actually purchase it from a store. Because if it does well, then it can encourage Jakks to make more figures in future waves. Maybe we will get a Gamma figure. And you know what? They could finally give us a proper Rouge. Oh, how I would love a proper Rouge the Bat again. Still, that's a vain hope, but you know, we can all support the Sonic line whenever it's available. This is Wakeangel2K1 signing off.